So I'm going to try to get through this video as fast as possible because last month's was a wild ride. It was so long, it was terrible to edit. I will link that down below, and also I think my camera battery is kind of running out, so you know, we're trying our best over here. But anyway, here are all the films that I've seen in the month of February. Most of them, if not all, were for the sake of the Oscars because I am a pretentious cinephile. Also, the Oscars happened last night, so I'm like, kind of over it, but you know, it's fine, we're fine. Here are all the films. So first of all, I must mention this one because I forgot to mention it. In my January monthly media, I saw Coco, that's directed by Lee Unkrich, and I loved it so much. It's the story of this little boy who wants to be a musician, but that's very against his family tradition, and he somehow ends up in the world of the dead on Dia de los Muertos. It's just so beautiful. It's a story about identity and following your dreams, and at the very core it's so much about family, and it's just beautiful. I love the cast. I didn't realize that the love of my life, Natalia Cordova-Buckley, would be the voice of Frida Kahlo of all people, and it was beautifully made. The music was fabulous, and just the story itself was very heartwarming, and it was so beautifully made. I have no words. And I'm so happy that it won Best Animation at the Oscars because it deserves it so much. It's so fabulous. It's so beautiful. And no film will ever be as beautiful visually as this one. And that's just a fact. I then watched one of the films that I thought got way less Oscars coverage than it could have. So I saw I, Tonya. And that's pretty much the story of Tonya Harding. You know, the Tonya Harding. I thought the film was fabulous. I very much despise Tonya Harding as a person and what she stands for. I very much despise the idea that at times the film was kind of trying to sell her to you as a kind of a victim, or at least a product of her circumstances. But overall, the film is just beautiful. The costume design is fabulous. The writing is very witty. The editing is just amazing, and the directing is just amazing. It's wonderful, and the performances are breathtaking. I think Margot Robbie and Sebastian Stan are amazing, and they just kind of suck you right in, and I have no words, and I'm so mad that Sebastian got robbed of even a nomination because I thought he was so good, and I'm very excited to see Hollywood take him a little more seriously as opposed to just the one guy from the Marvel films. Then I watched the favorite, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I was not a fan, to be quite honest. I loved some of the themes it dealt with, and I loved some of the dialogue and ideas, but overall it's iffy at best. It's basically about this woman whose daughter gets raped and murdered, and the police do a grand total of no shit. So she buys these 3 billboards outside their town, and those kind of hold the police accountable, or, you know, make it known that she's very bitter, which is relatable. But I think it deals with that, what I like to call Stephen King syndrome, in the sense that it throws all these goddamn slurs at you, and some of them are called out, and there's one scene where it's kind of wittily done, but most go uncalled. Your protagonist is unlikable, which I enjoy seeing unlikable women on film, but thinking back on it, I'm a little weirded out, and she does use some of the slurs as well, and her attitudes towards people are not my favorite. I think Frances does a wonderful job portraying her. I think the acting is spot on, but it's just the ideas of the film. A lot of them are just leaving a sour taste in my mouth, and I can't stand behind them, sorry. I then saw The Post, which, to be honest, I think it should have gotten more acclaim. I think everyone just kind of hates The Post, but I really liked it. It's basically about these journalists that come across some private files about the US involvement in Vietnam, and they're shady. They're shady at best, but the journalists could get in trouble if they were to publish, and it's a wild ride, but it stars Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep. I thought it was good. I was engaged, to be honest, and I love Meryl Streep, so whatever she's selling me, I will buy. You know, I thought the acting was great. I thought the film was well written, and it's not the best thing out there, but it's kind of good. So, I don't know. Because, of course, we're continuing the Oscars strip. I saw The Shape of Water, and that is directed by the one and only Guillermo del Toro. I love his previous work. I think his aesthetics are spot on. I think he's very smart. I think he always does something to defy the expectations. And the concept of the film is this one lady who fucks a fish man, according to everyone else. But in my honest opinion, it's this exploration of loneliness and what it means to be different and lonesome in this world. And it's set in like the 70s. It's got this whole Russia versus America subplot. It's very over the top, but it's so smart. It defies expectations in the terms that you have your male hero, who is a fucking fish, and you have your heroine, who is this mute cleaner. And there's just this beauty about the way it establishes that relationship without the added element of sound and language, and they define what language and communication means to them. And it's so smart, and it has this very kind of film noir and also old retro Hollywood vibe to it, which is not really what I would expect from Guillermo. But it's so smart, it's so good, it's so weird, I'm still weirded out, and I don't know if I specifically liked it. I feel like I liked it, but it's weird enough for me to not know if I liked it, which honestly years later is the same with Crimson Peak. So, you know, it's a very Guillermo thing, but it's very smart. So even if you don't like it, I think there's a lot of stuff to be appreciated there. And I think watching a lot of interviews of Guillermo, once you've seen the film, does add a lot of nuance, and you just pinpoint all these things that you might not have seen before. I think the symbolism is fabulous. Anyway, we'll stop talking. I rewatched Mamma Mia twice, and I will give you no further context, because I feel like if you don't know about Mamma Mia and how it's a cultural icon, you need to leave. And also Meryl Streep. You know what? It's just Meryl Streep. She is the star of this month in my life, and I love Meryl Streep a lot. Yo, I saw Black Panther, and I have no words. I had already set the bar very high for the film, which I don't enjoy ever doing with anything, because it leaves so much room for perpetual disappointment. It was one of my most anticipated films of the year, and I had already seen some of Ryan Coogler's previous work due to my friend G, and I did see Creed a while ago, so I knew that him and Michael B. Jordan together are just a dream team. I was very excited to see more of T'Challa after Civil War, and I knew I would basically love Shuri with my whole heart. And all my expectations were not only met, but they were exceeded. I thought it was beautiful. It was so smart. It was so political, which I loved. I know a lot of people complained. I loved it. I liked the action sequences. I thought the soundtrack was great. The cast and acting are spot on. I'm just imagining how many black kids cried that first time when they saw Wakanda, because to me it felt a lot like the equivalent of the first time I saw Themyscira on screen, and it's so much to take in. It's so smart. It's so witty. I love Ryan Coogler. I love him. Give him all the words. Give the film all your money. It's one of those pieces of art that are just relevant and sadly timeless, and it's just amazing. It's so smart. And lastly, I attempted to see The Phantom Thread. I couldn't make it through it. I physically could not. I was getting jittery, and the main protagonist is so slimy and such a privileged, obnoxious white man, and the film feels like the embodiment of the male gaze, and he's so dismissive of women in those like half an hour or whatever that I did see, and disrespectful, and it just makes my skin crawl just thinking back on it. So that is where I'm at right now. Anyway, so that's all that I've seen in the month of February in terms of films. I did watch Lady Bird at the beginning of March, so do keep an eye out for the March monthly media, but I will link my Letterboxd review of it in case you want a sneak peek. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you've seen any of these things. Let me know if you're bitter about the Oscars, because mood. I don't know. Thanks for watching again. I'll see you later.